Our next guest is on the front lines of the global inflation battle. Joining us right now is Michael McGarry. He's the chairman and CEO of paint supplier PPG. Michael, hearing what's been happening in the inflation picture, I know raw materials have gotten more and more expensive. What's been hitting you in terms of inflation, and how do you handle it?
Well, with PPG, it's been raw materials that originate mostly in the U.S. I mean, we've had Texas freeze last year. We had the hurricane later in the year. You have the trucking issues, the port issues. And so inflation's been quite challenged. Plus, you have strong demand. You know, we have gotten better supply in China. We've gotten better supply in Europe. But we're still fighting the issues here in the U.S., where we had 25% overall inflation in the first quarter, Becky.
25% overall. So that's not just raw materials. That's all in with higher labor costs, everything else that goes into this?
Energy, labor, transportation, warehousing. There's not a lot of places that we're not seeing inflation right now.
Have you been able to raise your prices to keep up with the pace of inflation?
Well, you know, historically we use a 3 to 6 month lag in this. And so the last quarter we raised prices about 10%. We're almost in real time. We need to get about 50%. So if inflation's at 25%, we need to get almost 10 to 12%. This quarter, we're going to get about 12% price increases, and we'll get more inflation in the third quarter as well. So our customers are having a hard time debating this right now. They see it in their own shops, and so we've been very successful, and we're pricing faster than we ever had at the highest rate we've ever had. We've never had a 10% inflation in our raw materials or our prices for our product either.
Michael, you say your customers are keeping up with this because they see it themselves in their own shops. You're talking about automakers and beyond?
Absolutely. You know, you touch our products every single day, whether it's the phone you use, whether it's a can that you drink out, the plane that you fly on. All those products all use paint. Automotive business is big for us as well, both OEM as well as aftermarket, aerospace. So we've seen a lot of inflation, and our customers are seeing it as well.
When we got the CPI, the Consumer Price Index yesterday, it showed that inflation was up by 8.3%. And that spooked the market. Anybody who was trying to put a positive spin on it said, well, at least it's not as bad as it was the month before when we had 8.5%. Maybe that's an indication inflation is peaking. What do you think? Do you think inflation has peaked? Or is there any sign of a slowdown based on what you're seeing?
We're certainly see it starting to level off. Not today, but we're seeing the increases are coming fewer. We've had less force majeures in the products that we buy. We've seen it slow down in China. We've seen it slow down in Europe. So we're optimistic that if we're not at a peak, we're very close to it. But for us, you know, we have a lot of underlying good demand. Our automotive business is very strong backlog in our aerospace business, and our aftermarket automotive business also very strong backlog. So we still see raw material inflation, but it's moderating, but we still see underlying good demand.